Urgent! Russia is drowning in disasters. This is finishing off the Kremlin. Panic and despair have seeped through the dictatorial empire. A bloody terrorist attack in the center of Moscow. A total purge has begun. Security forces in the crosshairs. Mysterious murders or accidents. Meanwhile, Moscow is in a fiery trap. A swarm of drones has surrounded the heart of Russia. Nowhere to hide. Other regions are no better. Oil refineries are burning, power plants razed to the ground. Darkness and cold have swept across Russia. It is impossible to live here anymore. Shock. Putin is so afraid of losing power that he is creating a new special service. Will this desperate move save his skin? Or will this shift in sands ultimately drag Russia down? Let's talk about it. Hello, this is Ukraine Today with the latest updates. Moscow in flames, scenes of horror, an explosion, blood and panic near Savelovsky railway station. This night in the capital of the aggressor state became truly terrifying. Around midnight, a powerful blast rang out. People woke up to the roar, windows shook, and the street was plunged into chaos. Local Telegram channels report that an unidentified individual approached the patrol car and detonated an improvised explosive device. Both the attacker and one police officer, senior lieutenant of the Interior Ministry Denis Bratyshenko, were killed. The blast wave reportedly threw the officer's body onto the nearby transformer booth. One of his partners is said to be in critical condition in the hospital, and another officer was also injured and hospitalized. Other witnesses claimed that the suspected attacker was filming video at the scene before moving aside. Footage from surveillance cameras showing the aftermath of the incident is circulating online, with notes that the search for those responsible is ongoing. Russia's Interior Ministry has announced the opening of criminal cases under articles related to encroachment on the life of a law enforcement officer and the illegal use of explosive devices. And while Moscow has not yet recovered from the nighttime explosion near the railway station, another alarming report is shaking Russia. The aggressor state has been plunged into a string of emergency incidents. A helicopter carrying security officials has crashed in Russia. By morning, it was confirmed that a privately owned, American-made helicopter had disappeared from radar in the Amur region. There were 3 people on board, not ordinary passengers. A pilot was an officer of Russia's investigative committee and a police officer. According to preliminary information, they were returning from operational search activities at a logging site near the village of Amaranka, heading to the village of Romny. Shortly after takeoff, however, contact with the aircraft was suddenly lost. The initial version points to a sudden deterioration in weather conditions. A powerful western cyclone swept through the region, sharply reducing visibility and intensifying winds. The pilot may have lost control. The presumed crash site is located about 14 kilometers from the departure point, though even this remains only an assumption. Rescue teams and emergency services are combing the area. Taiga, snow, difficult terrain, and total uncertainty. The fate of the 3 people on board remains unknown. Meanwhile, drones reached Moscow. A swarm of UAVs shocked the very heart of Russia. Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin claimed that 20 drones heading toward the city were allegedly shot down.
An unmanned aerial vehicle flying toward Moscow was shot down by the air defense forces of the Ministry of Defense. Emergency services specialists are working at the site where the debris fell.
Flight restrictions were introduced at all 4 airports in the Moscow region: Domodedovo, Vnukovo, Sheremetyevo, and Zhukovsky, according to Russia's aviation authority.
Vnukovo, Domodedovo, and Sheremetyevo airports are receiving and dispatching flights in coordination with the relevant authorities due to temporary restrictions on the use of airspace in the areas of these airports. The measures were taken to ensure flight safety.
Unidentified drones also struck Russia's Tatarstan region. One of the key oil pumping stations, Kaleykino, was hit and the fire broke out on its territory. Through local stations, including infrastructure around Kaleykino, oil from Tatarstan and neighboring regions flows into a major pipeline that passes through the Samara region and heads west towards Belarus and further into Eastern and Central Europe. Belgorod region governor Vyacheslav Gladkov stated that the city of Belgorod and the surrounding district were subjected to a massive missile strike from Ukraine, resulting in disruptions to electricity, water, and heating supplies.
The city of Belgorod and the Belgorod district were subjected to a massive missile strike by the armed forces of Ukraine. As a result, there is serious damage to energy infrastructure. There are disruptions in electricity, water supply, and heating for residents. We will be able to fully assess the extent of the damage in daylight.
Meanwhile, Telegram channels report that the strike targeted the Frunzenskaya electrical substation near the village of Dragunskaya in the Belgorod district. After the attack, parts of Belgorod were left without power. At the same time, the Pugachevka airfield in Russia.All region was struck. Expensive combat helicopters were reportedly reduced to scrap metal. The destroyed Mi-8 helicopter belonged to the 319th Separate Helicopter Regiment stationed in Chernigov, Primorsky Krai. The Ka-52 helicopter was assigned to the 16th Army Aviation Brigade based in Zernograd, Rostov region. Putin has created a new security service apparently sensing a threat to his regime. After 4 years of full-scale war, Russian dictator Vladimir Putin seems to have begun feeling growing risks to his hold on power. This is indicated by the creation of a new power structure. The document establishing the new body significantly expands the powers of the Russian leader's personnel internal army, the National Guard. According to the decree, the new structure will be responsible for planning combat readiness measures, overseeing the operational use of units, and organizing intelligence activities. The document specifically states that intelligence will be conducted for the purpose of fulfilling the tasks assigned to the National Guard troops. The headquarters will also gain authority to develop and implement state policy within its sphere. Among its stated tasks are forecasting and assessing military threats, analyzing potential conflicts, and preparing proposals for strategic documents. The head of the main headquarters will be the National Guard Director Viktor Zolotov, who previously led Putin's personal security for many years. He is considered one of the most loyal members of the dictator's inner circle. Meanwhile, experts from the Institute for the Study of War published an analysis of the Kremlin's latest decisions. In their assessment, Putin created the new security structure because he sensed a developing threat to his regime. Subordinating the National Guard more directly and the possible redistribution of certain functions from the Ministry of Emergency Situations to the Power Unit effectively strengthens the position of Chief of the General Staff Valery Gerasimov. The study notes that such steps are likely aimed at protecting the regime in the event of a repeat of events similar to the mutiny of the Wagner Group. At that time, armed units led by Yevgeny Prigozhin advanced toward Moscow with little resistance from Russian security forces.
Putin is rewarding Gerasimov for his loyalty, and Gerasimov retains a central place in Putin's inner circle.
Putin appears to be trying to minimize the risks of another internal crisis amid the ongoing war against Ukraine and mounting problems within Russia's military system. Whether this strategy will succeed is another question altogether. What do you think about the latest events? Share your opinion in the comments, like the video and subscribe to stay informed about the main headlines. See you soon!